You spent hard-earned money on a beautiful pair of leather shoes, but now they look worn out and covered in deep creases. You probably should have conditioned them, but you kept forgetting. Now they look years older than they should, and let's be honest, a little embarrassing. You thought leather was supposed to age like a fine wine, but instead they're one wrinkle away from retirement. You try your best to take care of things you own, but no one really ever tells you what to do when leather starts to look like this. Hey guys, welcome to Avummies. My name is Evan, and it's my goal to share the skills and tools needed to love your leather. And here's the good news. You can bring life back into your leather without toxic products and without buying new shoes. Today, I'll show you how to transform your shoes from this to this and walk you through the careful process to soften those creases, revive the finish, and restore your shoes with the kind of care they deserve. So let's get to it. The very first thing you guys want to start off with is a gentle brushing of any surface debris with a horsehair brush. This is an often overlooked detail in proper shoe maintenance that can lead to leather scratches. Then, with Leather Honey's non-toxic cleaner, we gently cleanse the leather's surface. No alcohols, no harsh surfactants, just a simple, effective preparation for what's to come. And if you've noticed, over time, leather footwear often gets scuffed, but the beautiful thing is that most of the time, it's just on the surface. So while using firm but gentle pressure, use a soft microfiber cloth to rub off any surface scuffs. But note, if you are a little too enthusiastic and push too hard, it may remove some of your polish or color. And of course, if your scuff is deeper, no amount of rubbing will remove leather that's been damaged. So remember, this is just for light scuffs. And if anyone's wondering, these are a pair of artisan-made BECKETT SIMONON dress shoes crafted in Colombia, where every cut, stitch, and detail of their product is handmade. Next, a vital step is to provide shape for your leather, whether with socks, newspaper, or best yet, a cedar shoe tree. Shoe trees can keep the shape of your leather over time and prevent sagging and creases, but more importantly, they're key for our next step, so don't skip it. Now on to conditioning, literally the best thing you could ever do for your leather. Today, we're using Amazon's #1 best-selling leather care, Leather Honey Conditioner. It's a unique product because it seeps deeply into the pores of your leather instead of just sitting on the surface. So, while other brands promise you the farm, Leather Honey has been used on the farm since 1968. Leather tack, boots, shoes, bags, furniture, automotive, and more. Leather Honey won't darken your leather and can last over 6 months before you have to condition again. And an exclusive discount just for my viewers, get 20% off and free shipping if you use my code Avummies at leatherhoney.com. The step we've all been waiting for? So how do you really remove wrinkles? Well, if you give me a second, it's important for me to explain so you don't ruin your leather. In order to fix your leather creases, you need to know how they form. Leather creases form for 3 main reasons: natural flex points from movement, lack of conditioning, or sometimes low quality leather. Every time you walk or bend, the material is naturally folding and it stretches out your leather, especially in areas like the toe box. And if the leather is dry, it can't flex smoothly and ends up creasing or cracking prematurely. So one way you can fix or minimize the creases and wrinkles from your leather is actually by shrinking your leather. Shrinking tightens up those stretched out and loose leather fibers and makes your leather look less worn. And let's be real guys, it's essentially Botox for your leather. And before we begin, don't try this hack until you make sure you insert something like a shoe tree into your shoe to give it some shape. We really need our leather to have a solid structure to form around during this process. To start, grab yourself a cotton cloth and make sure it's not synthetic because it can actually melt onto your leather. Choose one that's thick enough to act as a barrier between the heat source and your leather. Then, dampen the cloth with enough water to create some steam. Heat up your iron. I'm using the cotton setting on mine, and here's the most important part. Never let the iron touch the leather directly, and don't hold it over one spot for more than 2 to 3 seconds at a time, or there will be consequences. Simply go back and forth with your iron, continually checking the leather as you go. You want to ensure it's not burning or shrinking too much, just enough to remove those wrinkles. I gently ironed out mine until they were pretty much all gone, but remember guys, don't go overboard with this heat. It can entirely ruin your leather. Now before you guys get too excited about getting these results, let's talk about some risks, because while this method works, it's not magic. First, Creases will eventually come back. Leather by nature bends and flexes as you walk. So what we do with the steam removes the appearance of creases, but not the root cause. Think of it as a refresh, not a permanent reversal. Second, steam and heat can dry out your leather. If you skip conditioning before or after, you're actually risking long-term moisture loss, which will lead your leather to become brittle, stiff, or even crack and break over time. And finally, repeatedly reshaping your leather with an iron can cause fiber fatigue. While the hack is great, it's not a long-term solution, and low quality or thinner leathers are more prone to weakening if this process is done too frequently. So while it is expensive, you may consider something like a shell cordovan leather, as it's renowned to never crease due to the unique leather's fiber structure. Alright guys, so remember that we conditioned before we gave our leather that beating with the heat? Now it's time to reintroduce that conditioner again to protect it. And because these are dress shoes, we want a really high shine, polished look, so we're going to use an old kept cobbler secret for the best shine. Venetian leather balm. And while Leather Honey is an amazing conditioner, it just doesn't have any waxes in it, so it's simply not going to give that waxy and shiny finish, and that's no knock to the conditioner, it's just different. So for that reason, we're using Venetian leather balm because it uses a variety of premium waxes, all of which have their own purpose for crafting a beautiful and unique shine. So as you guys can see, I just applied a generous amount of leather balm and I'm dispersing it into the leather. Note that because this has waxes, it will darken your leather. So test an inconspicuous spot for best results. And for the best shine, apply leather balm evenly, buff off the excess into a shine, and then add that second coat. That will give you the layers of waxes that you need to craft that perfect shine. And while we're at it, let us know your shoe care routine or any shoe shining hacks in the comments below. We'd all love to learn something. And just to note, while I am using a horsehair dauber brush to apply the balm, I know a lot of you have your own preferences, so feel free to use a cotton chamois or even your fingers, and then buff with a cotton cloth or a horsehair brush. Now, as I always say when it comes to brushing leather, it's friction, not force, that creates the shine. The goal is to build up heat and movement across the surface, not to grind down the leather. So, brush fast, not hard, because applying too much pressure can damage the finish, stress the grain, and even wear down your brush unnecessarily over time. And look at that difference. The left side is completely dull and the right side has a beautiful shine. So for anyone who's considering doing this, be aware that it's a very high risk, high reward type of situation. This method is very unconventional and it can potentially ruin your leather's finish or permanently damage it. If you're already donating your shoes, then maybe this is something for you to try at your own risk. I'd like to share what I've been able to accomplish with my leather, but I don't recommend it for routine leather care. Nonetheless, I was really happy with my results. Let me know what you guys think. And if done properly, you guys can see that the leather has carefully shrunken where the creases once were, and the grain of the leather is perfectly intact. And if your leather finish became foggy or dull in the process, adding some shoe polish or our leather balm should bring its luster back from the heat. So if you guys want to transform your old and wrinkled Oxfords back to life, know that these beautiful shoes were saved, so I hope the best for yours as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, now is the time to subscribe with the bell icon so you never miss another one of my videos. Give the video a like and share it with a friend to support the channel, and let me know if you've ever heard of this hack before in the comments below. As always, it's my goal to bring you guys genuine, authentic results using the most affordable and best products on the market. So, if you like this video, make sure to check out these ones next, and I will see you guys over there. Remember to love your leather.